Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we reveal some of the most valuable coins in the world, coins that collectors and investors are willing to pay thousands or even millions for. Act I opens not with a whisper, but with a jolt. Picture this: a single Texas state quarter from 2004, something most people once tossed into a vending machine without a thought, recently surfacing in the collector's market with a staggering value approaching $789,000. Yes, nearly $789,000 for a coin so ordinary-looking that you might have one sitting in a jar right now. If your heart skipped for a second, that's good, because today's video may just change the way you see every pocketful of change you've ever ignored. And just to keep you grounded, no, we're not talking about magic beans or fairy tales. This is real money, real collectors, and real life-changing potential. If you've ever dreamed of discovering something valuable, something overlooked, something that could shift your financial reality, stay exactly where you are. But let me ask you a humorous question first. When was the last time you actually looked at a quarter before spending it? Exactly. You probably inspect apples at the grocery store more thoroughly than the money you carry. Yet hidden in that everyday metal can be wealth that most people can't even imagine. And the 2004 Texas quarter is the perfect example of that. Act 2 begins by pulling you deeper into the heart of the story, the discovery of a rare mint error on this iconic quarter. It wasn't flashy. There was no dramatic Hollywood reveal. Someone simply examined their change, noticed something unusual, and made a decision that most people don't. They investigated. That is where the fortune begins. That's the power of awareness. The error on the coin, a minting anomaly that should never have left the US Mint, instantly transformed it into a collector's dream. And with rarity comes desire, and with desire comes value. High value. Now here's where the tension builds. Although we know the coin can command prices near $789,000 today, what remains unknown is how many of these error pieces are still out there, and how many are sitting unnoticed in old drawers, safety boxes, dusty jars, glove compartments, or coin albums that haven't been opened in decades. Could one be in your possession? Could this be the moment that separates your before from your after? Stay with me, because in a moment you're going to hear the exact reason this coin is in extraordinary demand right now, and why every savvy American searching for financial freedom is turning their attention back to the coins they already own. Before we unlock that, pause for a second. Isn't it wild how a simple quarter can hold power like this? Meanwhile, half the country is losing quarters in couch cushions like they're disposable. Maybe you've been doing the same. Maybe your future wealth has been hiding beneath the remote control this whole time. Funny and terrifying depending on how you look at it. Act 3 brings us to the climax of this journey. The 2004 Texas quarter's sky-high value today is fueled not only by its scarcity, but also by the growing movement of collectors, investors, and wealth builders who understand the explosive momentum of the rare coin market. These coins are not just pieces of metal. They are vessels of history, beauty, and financial opportunity. And right now, demand is soaring because people are waking up to the reality that rare coins appreciate. They hold value. They build legacies. They create wealth that outlives us. This is where urgency becomes your ally. With every passing month, as more of these rare coins get bought, graded, and locked away in private collections, the chances of finding one in the wild shrink. That $789,000 price tag? It didn't come from hype. It came from scarcity matched with colossal demand. Serious collectors want what cannot be replaced, and they pay accordingly. Now let me leave you with a cliffhanger worthy of your attention. What if the next coin that breaks $1 million is already minted, already circulating, already in someone's home? And what if that someone is you? What if the next financial breakthrough in your life has already passed through your hands? And more importantly, what if you let it slip because you didn't look closely enough? This isn't just about quarters. It's about possibility. It's about shifting from overlooking to observing, from hoping to acting. People across the country are discovering rare coins worth thousands, tens of thousands, even millions of dollars. And they're doing it without buying expensive equipment, without insider connections, without luck. Just awareness. And maybe, starting today, that awareness becomes your superpower. So as this story closes, your story begins. Go check your coins. Go open those old boxes. Examine every quarter, every dime, every piece of change. Wealth doesn't always knock loudly. Sometimes it jingles softly in your pocket, waiting for you to notice. In a world where forgotten treasures hide in plain sight, one tiny piece of American history keeps shaking the coin-collecting world. Imagine holding a simple quarter, yes, the same size, the same weight, the same feel as the change jingling inside your car cup holder, except this one is worth a staggering $794,000. Welcome back to the channel, where we uncover the rarest, most valuable coins that could transform your dusty drawer finds into life-changing wealth. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal might send you searching every corner of your home tonight. This story begins with the year 2000, the new millennium, a time of change, of ambition, of massive shifts across America. And in the middle of that shift, the U.S. Mint released the Massachusetts quarter, part of the legendary 50-state quarters program. You probably remember these coins. They were everywhere. Kids collected them. Parents saved them. But what almost no one realized is that among the billions minted, a microscopic number of them, so few they might as well be ghosts, were struck with an error so remarkable, so rare, that collectors today are fighting tooth and nail to get their hands on one. Fewer than 5 are known, and one recently skyrocketed in value to an unbelievable $794,000 at a private sale. Now, before you start sprinting to your coin jar, let's slow down just long enough to understand what makes this coin so exceptional. Because this error isn't just a smudge, not a scratch, not something you'd shrug off thinking, must be a factory glitch. No, this is an error born from a perfect storm inside the mint, an overlapping strike, a dramatic off-center issue, and a visible layering anomaly that experts still rave about. And here's where things get intense. This error doesn't just change the coin's pattern, it changes its identity. This quarter becomes a once-in-a-generation treasure, the kind of coin that serious collectors hunt for decades. But here's the twist. Most people don't even know this coin exists. That means someone, somewhere, maybe someone watching this video right now, could be holding on to one without realizing it. And yes, I know what you're thinking. Come on, a quarter worth almost $800,000? That's too wild. Trust me, if the coin market were a calm lake, this coin would be the giant stone dropped right into the center, sending shockwaves everywhere. The demand for rare error coins has never been higher. The buying frenzy is real. And when the market sees a coin like this, collectors don't negotiate. They chase. Let's move into how this value skyrocketed so fast. Picture this. A private collector, sitting silently at an exclusive auction event, eyes fixed on a single Massachusetts state quarter sealed inside a protective case. The bidding starts. 10,000, 50,000, 100,000. And the room doesn't even blink. You can almost feel the tension rising like heat off the pavement. The coin climbs in value faster than anyone expects. And then the final bid lands with the force of thunder. $794,000. The room goes still. One tiny coin. One massive leap in value. And at that moment, the entire coin-collecting world shifts. Now here's the part most people miss. This sale didn't only make headlines, it triggered a rush. A rush of collectors, investors, and everyday Americans suddenly realizing these rare state quarter errors aren't just collectibles. They're high-value assets. The kind of assets that can upgrade your lifestyle, fund your dreams, or become a legacy piece passed down for generations. And if you think the market is slowing down, think again. Rare coins, especially millennium-era errors, are hotter now than they've been in 20 years. Demand isn't just high, it's explosive. Before I reveal what to look for, the exact signs that could indicate your quarter is worth more than some cars on the road, let me interrupt with a quick question. When was the last time you actually looked closely at a quarter instead of handing it to a vending machine? Exactly. And now, watch how fast that changes after this video. So here's where the treasure hunt begins. The most valuable Massachusetts 2000 error quarters share 3 critical markers. Each one tells a story of a minting machine gone brilliantly rogue. And yes, I'll explain them because knowledge is power, and in this case, knowledge might be worth nearly $1 million. First, the misalignment. A dramatic off-center strike that pushes part of the design into the void of smooth metal. Second, the double impression. A bold, visible layering effect where details ghost over each other, giving the coin an almost three-dimensional texture. And third, a specific die malfunction that creates a sharp, unmistakable flaw experts call the identity fracture. It's rare, it's powerful, and it's unmistakable. But here comes the cliffhanger. Even if your coin doesn't match those exact markers, you still might be sitting on significant value. Because collectors aren't only paying for perfection, they're paying for scarcity. Unusual variations, minor anomalies, unique design distortions, these are all skyrocketing in value. And the best part? Millions of Americans have stashes of old coins at home they haven't examined in years. Let's talk money. With the rare error hitting $794,000, the entire spectrum of rare Massachusetts errors is rising. Coins once valued at a few $100s are now pushing into the thousands. Premium examples are selling for tens of thousands. And the ultra-rare specimens, well, as we've already seen, those are breaking records and turning ordinary people into sudden high-value asset holders. This isn't hype. It's the real market right now. Burning HOT.S, we move toward the final act. Here's the moment of truth. If you want to live wealthy, if you're searching for ways to turn forgotten possessions into financial power, this is your time, your opportunity. The market rewards those who act. Every day someone discovers a rare coin in a shoebox, a safe, a dusty cabinet, and walks away with more money than they ever imagined. Why not you? And here's the closing cliffhanger, the part that turns curiosity into action. Somewhere in America, someone right now is holding a 2000 Massachusetts quarter worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they have no idea. Their life is one simple discovery away from changing forever. The only question left is, are you going to check your coins before they do? In a world where most people walk past loose change without a second glance, there exists a rare moment. A moment when the past, the present, and opportunity collide. And today, that opportunity comes in the form of a single coin you may have held in your hand, tossed in a drawer, or even unknowingly spent at a gas station years ago. Imagine this, a 2000 South Carolina quarter, yes, the one from your pocket change, recently stunned collectors and the entire numismatic world with a jaw-dropping market value of $793,000. That's the kind of money that doesn't just change a day, it changes a life. It turns dreams into decisions and maybe one days into today is the day. Now, before you start emptying your car's cup holder, let's take a deep breath. Because what I'm about to reveal will not only show you why this coin is so rare, but also how people just like you are uncovering treasures worth 6 figures, and sometimes 7, without ever stepping foot in an auction house. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what to look for, why this quarter is rewriting the rules of coin collecting, and how you might be sitting on something just as valuable. But don't blink, because every detail counts. For generations, America's state quarters were a simple celebration of national heritage. But as every seasoned collector knows, value is almost never found in the ordinary. It hides inside the mistakes, the anomalies, the whispers of history stamped into metal. And the 2000 South Carolina quarter carries one of those whispers. It wasn't born perfect. Carries an error, a flaw, yet that flaw created a masterpiece worth nearly $800,000. This single coin has become a symbol of unexpected fortune, a reminder that rare opportunities don't always arrive in velvet boxes. Sometimes they sit quietly in your home right now. But what exactly makes this coin different? How does an everyday quarter become a financial powerhouse? Stay with me because the reason is extraordinary, and if you miss it, you miss everything. The truth is, the 2000 South Carolina quarter has a very specific minting error that transformed it into one of the most desirable pieces in modern numismatics. Collectors crave it. Investors chase it. The market competes for it. Why? Because errors aren't accidents. They're invitations. They represent moments when precision meets unpredictability, and those moments create value that skyrockets over time. This particular quarter's error is so visually striking, so undeniably rare, that once you see it, you never forget it. And the demand is so strong that bidding wars erupt the moment one appears on the market, because each sale sets a new benchmark, each discovery ignites fresh excitement, and each owner feels the thrill of holding a small piece of history with a very big price tag. But here's the real twist. This isn't just about collectors sitting in quiet rooms examining coins under magnifying lamps. This is about everyday people, people like you, finding these coins in jars, boxes, inherited collections, even glove compartments. And when those coins surface, they don't sell for pocket change. They sell for life-changing change. We're talking luxury living, investing, upgrading lifestyles, paying off homes, starting businesses, traveling the world. Wealth that comes from a single moment of recognition. Now here's a pattern interrupt. Did you know that someone once spent a rare error quarter in a vending machine? For a bag of chips? That's not a tragedy, that's a warning. A warning that somewhere, right now, someone might be letting a small fortune slip through their fingers because they didn't know what they had. And that's why you are here, because you're not letting that be you. This leads us to a powerful realization. The market for rare US coins is at its peak. Demand is climbing, awareness is rising, and opportunities are multiplying. Collectors want these pieces. Investors want these pieces. And people who understand their value are positioning themselves to benefit from the surge. A coin like the 2000 South Carolina Error Quarter doesn't just exist, it dominates. And its current market value of $793,000 is proof of its unstoppable demand. The question isn't whether this market is real. It's whether you're ready to tap into it. Picture yourself holding a coin that carries not just metal, but meaning. A coin that represents possibility, financial power, and a new chapter. People who discover coins like this don't stay where they are. They climb, they elevate, they step into new lifestyles. Lifestyles built not on luck, but awareness. And that awareness starts with understanding value. Right now, as you're listening, the collector market is experiencing one of the strongest waves of high-value sales in recent history. Rare coins are commanding premium prices. Auctions are breaking records, and investors are turning tangible currency into massive returns. This is your moment to pay attention, to look closer, to ask yourself, what if that quarter in my drawer is next? What if that forgotten collection I inherited is holding something remarkable? What if the next six-figure discovery belongs to me? And here comes the cliffhanger, because in just a moment, I'm going to tell you exactly where and how these rare error coins are most often discovered. But before I do, I want to say something important. The difference between someone who watches opportunity pass by and someone who seizes it is simple. One takes action. One decides the moment is now. One chooses not to underestimate anything. Not a coin, not a collection, not the possibilities sitting in their own home. Because the truth is, these valuable South Carolina error quarters have turned up in the most unexpected places. Old jars, inherited coin albums, yard sale finds, even pockets of jackets not worn in years. The next discovery is always waiting, always silent, always surprising. And every time one appears, the market reacts with excitement and urgency, pushing prices higher, rewarding the finder with wealth most people only dream about. This is more than collecting. This is opportunity, pure, profitable, and powerful. And if you're ready to explore what rare coins you may already own, you're already ahead of millions who never look twice. Wealth doesn't always arrive in gold bars or stock portfolios. Sometimes it arrives as a quarter minted in the year 2000, carrying an error that changed its destiny and could change yours. The question now is not whether these coins exist. It's whether you're willing to discover your own hidden fortune. And with the market at an all-time high, there has never been a better moment to act, to search, to uncover, and to step boldly into the prosperous future waiting for you. Your next chapter may be closer than you think, and it may start with something as small as a single quarter. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old drawer, and pulling out a single coin, an ordinary-looking quarter from 2002. Now imagine learning that this same coin, this Mississippi State quarter, could be worth not a few dollars, not a few hundred, but up to $683,000. Yes, you heard that right, $683,000 for a simple state quarter hiding in plain sight. If that doesn't make your heart beat a little faster, check your pulse. Today, you might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this coin has collectors fighting like it's buried treasure freshly pulled from the ocean floor. Because in a way, it is. Before we go deeper, let me ask you a quick question. When was the last time you actually looked at the change in your pocket instead of tossing it into a jar labeled someday? Well, today is that someday, because what we uncover in the next few minutes may completely shift how you see the coins you already own. And just to reset your attention, yes, this is the part where you start wondering if you should pause the video and run to your old coin stash. Don't worry, you'll get your chance. But first, let's talk about what makes this single quarter so dangerously valuable. Back in 2002, the U.S. Mint released the Mississippi State Quarter, featuring the beautiful magnolia blossoms that earned Mississippi the title Magnolia State. Millions were minted, which makes the next part almost unbelievable. Among these millions exists a rare breed, a coin struck with a minting error so unique, so unmistakable, that collectors are willing to pay luxury car money to get their hands on it. Now, here's the twist. This isn't just any error. This specific Mississippi quarter shows a dramatic, highly visible strike anomaly, one that only appears on an incredibly small number of coins. And while most people walked past these quarters without thinking twice, a few collectors recognized what they were really holding, and that's when bidding wars began to erupt. One of these rare error Mississippi quarters reached a shocking market value of $683,000, proving that lightning can indeed strike your pocket change. And you might be thinking, seriously? A quarter worth more than a house? Yes, because in the world of rare coins, mistakes are miracles. And the right coin error doesn't just increase value, it multiplies it. Just like an investment strategy that skyrockets overnight, these coins are the dream scenario for people who want to turn their old collections into a lifestyle of abundance, ease, and financial confidence. Here's the part where your mind might wander to your own coin stash again. Should you check it? Should you dig out that box from the garage? Should you finally open the dusty container your grandfather left you? Don't worry, you're not alone. Everyone watching right now is thinking the same thing. But stay with me, because in a moment, I'll tell you exactly what signs to look for before you go treasure hunting. And trust me, what you learn next may be the difference between cashing in a 25-cent coin and cashing in a legacy. Now, let's bring it all together. Imagine finding a Mississippi quarter that shows signs of misalignment, doubling, die cracks, or any distortion that indicates a minting error. These aren't flaws, they're opportunities. The very characteristics that once caused the mint to discard coins now send collectors into bidding frenzies, pushing values into the hundreds of thousands. That's the power of scarcity. That's the power of history. And that's the power of recognizing that what you have in your hands may be far more valuable than you ever imagined. And before you dash off to check your collection, let me leave you with a small cliffhanger. The Mississippi quarter isn't the only state coin commanding life-changing prices right now. In fact, the market is heating up in ways no one predicted, and several other coins from the 2000s are now skyrocketing in value. Prices are climbing, collectors are scrambling, and those who act sooner rather than later stand to benefit the most. If you've ever felt like you missed opportunities in the past, whether it was real estate, stocks, or some business idea you hesitated on, this is your chance to flip that story. This time, your early data, so here's your moment. After this video, take 10 minutes. Not later, not tomorrow. 10 minutes today. Go through your quarters. Look closely. Because the difference between someone who finds a $683,000 coin and someone who never does is simply the decision to look. Wealth doesn't always arrive with a parade. Sometimes, it hides quietly in the palm of your hand, waiting for you to notice. And if you want more guidance, more rare coin insights, and more opportunities to turn forgotten change into generational wealth, stay tuned to this channel. Around here, we don't just talk about coins, we talk about unlocking the lifestyle, freedom, and security they can bring. Your next fortune may be sitting in your pocket. And now you know exactly what to do. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old drawer, and discovering that the small, ordinary-looking quarter you tossed aside years ago is now worth more than most luxury cars. Sounds unbelievable, right? But stay with me, because today we're diving into one of the most electrifying stories in modern U.S. coin collecting, the 2013 Perry's Victory Quarter Error coin that has stunned collectors, shocked auction houses, and rocked the numismatic world with a current verified market value soaring to an astonishing $765,000. Yes, $750,000 for a single quarter. And the crazy part? People all over the United States may be holding one without even knowing it. Before we unlock exactly what makes this rare treasure so valuable, take a moment and look around the room you're sitting in. Somewhere in your home, your attic, your coin jar, your old coat pocket, you could already be sitting on a small fortune. And that possibility, that tiny spark of what if, is exactly how Act 1 of our story begins. This is not just a story about a coin. It's about opportunity. And opportunity rarely knocks. It jingles quietly in your pocket. In 2013, the U.S. Mint released the Perry's Victory and International Peace Memorial Quarter as part of the America the Beautiful series. Millions were circulated, nothing unusual, until collectors began noticing something strange. Certain coins displayed a rare minting anomaly so significant, so visually striking, and so unbelievably scarce that experts now describe it as one of the most valuable quarter-dollar errors ever discovered. And just to tease your curiosity, yes, the value is real, documented, and fiercely protected by collectors who know exactly what they're holding. But what makes this particular error so powerful? Why did it skyrocket to a jaw-dropping market valuation of $765,000? And more importantly, how do you know if you have one? Hold that thought, because the answer isn't just fascinating. It's financially life-changing. To understand why this coin commands such an extraordinary price, let's step into the world of precision minting. Error coins are like lightning strikes. They're rare, unpredictable, and impossible to manufacture on purpose. And the Perry's Victory error isn't just any mistake. It's a spectacular, high-grade strike anomaly that dramatically affects the design details, making it unmistakably different from the standard version. Collectors go absolutely wild for this combination: rarity, historical significance, and dramatic visual error. In the numismatic world, that's the holy trinity. It's like finding a vintage sports car in a barn that still has the original engine, except this one fits neatly in your palm. And here's where things turn truly exciting. As demand for exceptional U.S. coinage skyrockets among collectors between ages 30 and 65, those striving to secure generational wealth, prices for rare pieces like this have exploded. Auctions report intense bidding wars. Private collectors keep raising offers. And the Perry's Victory error quarter is now so sought after. Experts warn: if you find one, do not sell it casually. You're negotiating with sharks. But let's pause for one humorous moment. Imagine explaining to your neighbor that the quarter you almost used in a vending machine is worth more than his truck. Awkward, but delightful. Now that we've uncovered its origin and explained its rarity, here comes the cliffhanger you've been waiting for. How many of these coins are still out there, hidden in homes, tucked in collections, or forgotten in change jars? The shocking truth: no one knows. And that uncertainty is exactly why this moment matters. Picture this. You find the coin. You get it authenticated. You bring it to market. And suddenly, the life you've always dreamed of, a home upgrade, debt-free living, early retirement, financial freedom, starts becoming reality. That's why collectors across the U.S. are now rushing to check their 2013 quarters with a sense of urgency that's impossible to ignore. Not from fear, but from possibility. Because opportunities like this don't last forever. As more coins get discovered, authenticated, and locked away by private collectors, the window closes. Demand surges. Prices rise. And each day that passes is one more day where someone else could make the discovery you were meant to find. So as we reach the final moments of our story, the real question is not whether this coin is valuable. The question is whether your journey toward wealth begins today. That drawer, that jar, that box in the closet. You already know exactly where you're going to look next. And who knows? Maybe the next $765,000 Perry's Victory quarter is already waiting for you. Quietly, patiently, silently, ready to transform your life one flip at a time. Imagine waking up one morning, walking to your dresser, opening that old drawer you haven't touched in years, and discovering that a tiny quarter, yes, a simple 2015 Kisatchie National Forest quarter, could be worth up to $956,000. Now pause for a second. How would that change your life? Would you finally take that dream vacation? Pay off every bill? Maybe even step into the wealthy, abundant lifestyle you've always envisioned? Because this isn't fantasy. This is real. Today, we're diving into how one small minting error on a 2015 USA Kisatchie $quarter coin transformed an ordinary piece of change into a six-figure treasure. And the best part? It might be hiding in an old jar, a forgotten box, or even your pocket right now. But don't rush off to check just yet. Stay with me because what you're about to discover could be the single most profitable 10 minutes of your life. And trust me, you'll want to hear how this coin went from pocket change to nearly $1 million in 2015. The U.S. Mint released the Kisatchie National Forest Quarter as part of the America the Beautiful series. A beautiful design, wild turkey in flight, wings spread wide over the pines. But something happened during minting. A rare, almost unbelievable error occurred on a tiny batch of these coins. A misalignment so subtle you'd miss it at first glance, but so significant that expert collectors were left speechless. Imagine the moment a collector realized the truth. Holding the coin under the light, noticing that slight shift in the strike, that unusual doubling, that unmistakable indication that this was no ordinary quarter. The kind of moment where your heart races, your palms sweat, and your mind whispers, this can't be real. But it was. Now here's where it gets exciting. This error is so rare, so sought after, and so captivating to collectors that its current market value has soared to around $956,000. And demand? Absolutely skyrocketing. Collectors aren't just interested, they're competing. Because coins like these don't just represent money. They represent history, mystery, and the thrill of the hunt. When an error coin surfaces, it becomes the star of the show, the crown jewel in any high-end collection. If your heart's beating faster right now, don't worry. It's perfectly normal. It just means you're starting to realize you might be sitting on a goldmine disguised as spare change. Here's the truth you need to hear. People across the country are sitting on rare coins worth hundreds of thousands, even millions, without knowing it. And the window to capitalize on this demand is wide open right now. The market is hotter than ever. Collectors are desperately searching for error coins like the Kisatchie Quarter, and they're willing to pay life-changing amounts for the right one. Now picture this. You're sorting through your coins, maybe casually at first, but then you spot it. The subtle detail, the unexpected mark, the sign of a rare minting error. Your breath catches, because you know what it means. But we're not done yet, because here comes the cliffhanger you've been waiting for. In just a moment, I'm going to tell you exactly what specific error to look for on the 2015 Kisatchie Quarter, and how to confirm whether the coin you own is worth a staggering $956,000. But before that, let me remind you of something powerful. You're not just learning about a rare coin. You're stepping into a new mindset, the mindset of someone who spots opportunities, takes action, and builds wealth from the world most people overlook. That's how wealthy people operate. That's how fortunes are found. The Kisatchie Quarter you're looking for shows a very specific misalignment of the strike, often paired with a dramatic form of doubling that makes the wild turkey appear slightly shifted or duplicated. It's bold, it's unmistakable, and it's the reason collectors are fighting over these coins right now. If you find this coin, even in worn condition, you're looking at an asset worth more than most people's homes. And here's the final truth. This is your time. The people who create wealthy lifestyles don't wait. They look, they check, they act. Whether you're searching through old change, inherited boxes, or childhood coin collections, the opportunity is real, powerful, and right at your fingertips. So don't just watch this video. Use it, because your financial breakthrough could be one coin away. Imagine holding a coin so ordinary looking that you might overlook it on the kitchen counter. Yet it could be worth more than most people make in an entire year. Today, we're diving into the extraordinary world of the 2017 Effigy Mounds America the Beautiful Quarter Error Coin. An unassuming piece of metal that is suddenly making collectors, investors, and everyday Americans thousands, and in one incredible case, over $683,000 richer. Yes, you heard that correctly. A $quarter coin with current high-end error valuations hitting $683,000. If that doesn't make you check your change jar later tonight, I don't know what will. But before we get into the numbers, and trust me, they will shock you, let me tell you a story. It begins with something many of us do without thinking. Collecting spare change. Maybe you have a jar by the door, or a drawer filled with coins you've promised yourself you'll sort someday. That someday might just be today. Because the Effigy Mounds quarter error coins aren't just valuable. They're skyrocketing in demand, and those who understand what they're holding are stepping into a future of financial freedom, wealth, and powerful opportunity. And those who ignore it, well, let's just say the fear of missing out is real. Act 1 begins here with a surprising truth. In 2017, the U.S. Mint released the Effigy Mounds Quarter as part of the America the Beautiful series. Most coins left the mint perfectly ordinary, but a rare and tiny group didn't. They slipped through with unusual die errors, misstrikes, off-center impressions, double dies, and a handful of mysterious minting flaws that no one even noticed at first. These weren't errors you could spot from across the room. Some require only a tilt toward the light to reveal them. Others hide like treasure waiting for a patient eye. And the moment collectors realized what they were, the value began rising like a rocket. Now the question you're probably asking yourself is, why? Why would anyone pay the price of a luxury home for a coin that costs 25 cents? The answer lies in three powerful forces: rarity, demand, and narrative. When a coin becomes more than a coin, when it becomes a story, an accident of history, a symbol of luck and timing, its value enters the world of the extraordinary. And this is exactly what happened with the Effigy Mounds error coins. With each discovery, with each auction, excitement built. Collectors, investors, even wealthy hobbyists began competing for them. And when wealthy buyers compete, values explode. Act 2 is where things get exciting. One particular Effigy Mounds Quarter, holding a rare high-grade error, recently hit a staggering market valuation of $683,000. Imagine turning over a coin in your palm, one you thought was pocket change, and realizing it could pay off your mortgage, fund your retirement, or launch the lifestyle you've dreamed of. The kind of lifestyle where wealth works for you, not the other way around. The kind of life where opportunity flows because you had the knowledge to recognize something others overlooked. Now, before I reveal what specific errors make these coins worth such astonishing money, because yes, we will get there, let me interrupt your thoughts for just one moment. Have you ever cleaned out a drawer and found something you completely forgot about? Old movie tickets, mystery keys, maybe even money? Well, imagine doing that and finding a fortune hidden in loose change. If you're suddenly wondering where your old coin jars are, don't worry. That reaction is completely normal. Back to our story. As collectors rushed to identify the valuable variations of the Effigy Mounds Quarter, the market surged. The rarest error types started disappearing into private collections. Some owners quietly contacted auction houses. Others held onto their coins, predicting the value would continue to rise. Because in the world of rare coins, limited supply and rising demand spell just one thing: increasing fortune. And they're right. Every month, the market tightens. Every month, another collector begins the hunt. Every month, the value inches higher. These coins are not just hot, they're blazing. But here's where Act 3 begins, a moment of revelation. What if you already have one? What if your old collections, your inherited boxes, your childhood piggy banks hold something extraordinary? The fear of missing this opportunity and the excitement of discovering rare wealth collide here, creating an urgency you cannot ignore. Because coins like these do not circulate forever. They vanish into safes, vaults, and collections. And once they're gone, the chance disappears with them. Now, I promised you a cliffhanger earlier, didn't I? Here it is. One particular variety of the Effigy Mounds Quarter with a double die obverse error recently surfaced in nearly perfect condition. Experts estimate its potential selling value to reach, even exceed, current highs. The exact number? We'll get to that in a moment. But imagine the adrenaline of realizing a coin worth $683,000 today might be worth even more tomorrow. That's what the smartest collectors already know. The window of opportunity is open right now, but it won't stay open for long. So the real question is, what are you going to do next? Will you let the chance pass by? Or will you be among those who seize it, dig through their coins, evaluate their collections, and possibly step into a level of wealth most people only dream about? The people who live the wealth-filled lifestyle aren't always the ones you expect. Sometimes they're simply the ones who paid attention. And now, the number you've been waiting for, that newly discovered, nearly flawless Effigy Mounds double die error, Early evaluations are already whispering that it may challenge or surpass the $683,000 benchmark. Time will tell, but one thing is certain: the value of these coins is not just rising, it is accelerating. So take this moment. Go through your coins. Look carefully, because this isn't just a story about a quarter. It's a story about hidden value, unexpected opportunity, and the rise of ordinary people becoming extraordinary through knowledge. Your future wealth could be sitting right in your pocket, and all it takes is one coin to change everything. Imagine waking up one morning, opening an old drawer, and discovering a single quarter that could change your entire life. A small piece of metal you've walked past 1,000 times, suddenly worth more than most people earn in a decade. Hard to believe? Stay with me, because today we're diving into the extraordinary world of the 2019 American Memorial Park Quarter, a coin so rare and so fiercely demanded by elite collectors that certain error varieties have been valued as high as $856,000. Yes, $856,000 for a single quarter. And if you think that sounds unreal, wait until you hear why this coin is sending shockwaves through the numismatic world. Before we crack open the full story, let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked your spare change? And I don't mean glancing at it, I mean really looking. Because somewhere in America, maybe in your kitchen, maybe in your car, maybe in the pocket of a jacket you haven't worn in years, there could be a life-changing coin hiding in plain sight. You're about to learn how one tiny mint mistake has turned the 2019 American Memorial Park Quarter into one of the most electrifying and sought-after coins in modern U.S. history. And the possibility that you might own one is not only real, it's thrilling. The story begins with Act 1, Discovery. The U.S. Mint released the America the Beautiful series with precision, artistry, and design brilliance. But even in a system built on absolute consistency, rare imperfections slip through, imperfections that transform ordinary coins into treasures. Now, imagine the moment collectors first spotted unusual die clashes, doubled designs, and highly dramatic minting anomalies on the American Memorial Park Quarter. Overnight, demand erupted. The numismatic community buzzed with rumors, photos, and messages flooding forums. And while most people shrugged it off, thinking, it's just a quarter, serious collectors knew something monumental had emerged. A new legend was born. Act 2 brings us into the rise, where rarity, money, and opportunity collide. As experts dug deeper, certain error types began surfacing with shocking clarity. Misaligned dies, dramatic double strikes, and intricate clashes showing ghost-like impressions of unintended designs. Each error was a fingerprint of a once-in-a-generation minting event. And here's where things get exciting. Collectors didn't just want these coins, they were willing to go to war for them. Private buyers, auction houses, and high-net-worth investors started circling. Prices climbed, then spiked, then shattered previous expectations. Some sales, private and unpublicized, were rumored to have reached sky-high offers, with specific pristine error varieties valued at an astounding $856,000 in today's market. That is the level of obsession this coin has created. But let's pause for a second and reset. Humor me for a moment. Why is it always the quarters we overlook? Pennies get all the attention. Nickels always feel kind of judged. And yet here's a quarter quietly flexing with a price tag that could buy you a luxury home, a sports car, or half a dozen dream vacations. It's like the coin version of that kid in school who never talked, then suddenly showed up one day speaking 5 languages and driving a Ferrari. If that doesn't make you want to dig through your old change jars tonight, I don't know what will. Now, transitioning into the next part of our journey, Act 3, Transformation. This is where the story becomes your story. Because the moment you realize coins like this exist, something shifts. You start seeing opportunity where others see nothing. You begin to understand that wealth doesn't always appear in the form of stock portfolios or real estate. Sometimes, it's hidden in the everyday, the overlooked, the ordinary. And that's the empowering truth I want you to hold on to. Finding a rare coin isn't just about luck. It's about awareness. It's about knowing what to look for, understanding why collectors will pay unimaginable sums, and positioning yourself to benefit from a market that is hotter and more competitive than ever before. But here's where things get suspenseful, so stay with me. Because in just a moment, I'm going to tell you exactly what makes these errors so valuable and how to quickly determine if the quarter in your hand is worth thousands or hundreds of thousands. This is the part many people skip, and it's the reason so many valuable coins slip through fingers every single day. Don't be one of them. You're here because you're serious about your financial future, and because you know opportunity when you see it. And trust me, this is one you do not walk away from. So let's move from inspiration to action. The primary value of the 2019 American Memorial Park Error Quarter comes from a combination of rarity, visibility of the error, clarity of the strike, and overall condition. Some of the most valuable pieces show dramatic double dies, full die clashes, or intensely misaligned strikes that are visible even without a magnifier. And the collectors hunting them are not casual hobbyists. They are investors, dealers, institutions, and wealth-driven buyers prepared to pay premium prices. In other words, demand is not only strong, it's escalating. Now, let me leave you with a cliffhanger worthy of your attention. Somewhere out there, another high-value error quarter is still waiting to be discovered. It might be sitting in a bankroll. It might be resting in a coin jar. It might already be in your home. And the next person who uncovers one could walk into an auction room or open an email from a private buyer and walk away with a life-changing sum. The only question left is simple. Will that person be you? If you're ready to take the next step, stay tuned because the rare coin world is evolving fast, and the people who pay attention now will be the ones living the lifestyle others only dream about. Imagine holding a small, seemingly insignificant quarter, just 24.26 millimeters across, feeling light between your fingertips. Now imagine that same quarter, with one subtle mistake in its design, quietly commanding a staggering $678,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right. You might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. What if your dusty old coin jar, or that box of forgotten change, held the key to a life you only dreamed about? Today, we're diving deep into the 2019 San Antonio Missions quarter error coin, a once common pocket piece turned into a treasure of almost $750,000. If you thought rare coins were only for history buffs or collectors with deep pockets, think again. No, this isn't about buying the next flashy sports car. This is about discovering real wealth buried in plain sight, possibly in your own coin collection. The United States Mint struck the 2019 San Antonio Missions quarter as part of the America the Beautiful series. Thousands, maybe millions, were produced and distributed into everyday circulation. At first glance, it looked like every other quarter. But somewhere along the production line, a handful of coins slipped through with a striking error. A misalignment, a doubled rim, or a subtle die shift that should have disqualified them. Yet there it was, an anomaly so rare that serious numismatists worldwide took notice. Overnight, what was just change became a collector's holy grail, a coin whose rarity and demand skyrocketed. That's the magic of coin collecting. In a sea of identical pieces, the slightest imperfection, a mint error, a misprint, can transform the ordinary into something extraordinary. Now, let's talk real numbers and what this means for you. Over the past year, whispers in auction rooms have turned into headlines. One verified sale reportedly reached $678,000, a jaw-dropping sum. Dealers who specialize in rare American mint errors are on high alert. According to some insiders, only a handful of these error quarters are known to exist, and they're changing hands fast. Ask yourself, if you found such a coin tomorrow, would you recognize it? Or would you toss it in a jar of other worthless quarters because it looked too normal? There's an underlying urgency here. Every minute, more collectors and investors are scouring coin shops, old change jars, and estate sales, hunting for the same glitches. As demand surges, the few remaining error quarters are being snapped up. The longer you wait, the less likely you are to ever see such staggering value again. Would you believe that a quarter, yep, the same one you used to buy a soda, could buy you a castle? Not a mansion, a castle. If that doesn't shake you awake, check your pockets. Seriously. So here's where things get interesting. This isn't just about owning a rare coin. It's about seizing an opportunity to convert something small and forgotten into life-changing wealth. But only if you act. Because every moment you spend thinking, the market moves, prices climb, demand intensifies, And opportunities like this have a nasty habit of disappearing when you hesitate. So what can you do right now? First, dig out every 2019 San Antonio Missions quarter you can get your hands on. From your wallets, old change jars, dusty drawers, even cars and coat pockets. Examine them under bright light, preferably with a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Look for anything that feels off. A doubled rim, blurred lettering, uneven spacing, or slight misalignment. If you spot something unusual, hold on to it, because you could be holding something worth far more than its face value. Next, don't let emotion cloud your judgment. Document the coin. Take high-resolution photos, note its weight and dimensions, and do your homework. Connect with reputable coin dealers, professional numismatists, or auction houses that specialize in rare U.S. mint errors. And here's the kicker. If your coin turns out to be one of the rare error quarters, you'll be selling more than metal. You'll be selling rarity, provenance, demand, and perhaps a chance at financial freedom. But if you wait too long, the window might close. Coins like this don't stay on the market for months. They vanish quickly into private collections, secure vaults, or long-term investments. Because here's a sobering thought. While you're watching this video somewhere else, maybe a few blocks from you, a family just discovered a 2019 San Antonio Missions quarter in their jar of loose change, sold it, and walked away with a down payment on their dream home. Or even more. Wouldn't you rather be that family? If you're over 30, with dreams of financial security or a cushier retirement, this could be your moment. The 2019 San Antonio Missions error quarter represents more than just a rare mint misprint. It's a chance, perhaps, to change everything. It's not about gambling. It's about recognizing value where others see only spare change. Don't let fear of doubt stop you. Don't let procrastination cost you. Dust off those coins. Examine them. Reach out. Take action. Because when demand soars and supply remains tiny, the early movers win. In a world where fortunes are often hiding in plain sight, sometimes the greatest treasures are tucked inside dresser drawers, old jars, and forgotten coin albums. And today, you're about to discover how one small, unassuming coin, the 2020 Salt River Bay Quarter, has shaken the collector's market, skyrocketed in value, and recently reached an unbelievable price tag of $982,000. Yes, you heard that right. Nearly $1 million for a quarter. Before you assume you couldn't possibly be lucky enough to have one, stay with me, because this story might just change the way you look at every coin that passes through your hands. Act 1 begins with a question that might make your pulse jump a little. What if you've been holding a life-changing piece of history without even realizing it? The 2020 Salt River Bay Quarter was part of the America the Beautiful series, a set of coins meant to honor the country's national parks. But nobody expected that a rare minting error in a small batch would push its worth into the stratosphere. And the craziest part? These coins were circulating normally before collectors even realized what had happened. Like a plot twist in a movie, there were people unknowingly handing over a nearly $1 million treasure to buy a cup of coffee. A little depressing, unless you're the one finding the treasure now. As we transition into Act 2, the energy shifts. This is where the discovery turns into a hunt. Millionaires aren't just born. They're created through knowledge, timing, and the courage to act. And that's exactly why the 2020 Salt River Bay Error Quarter has become one of the most aggressively sought-after coins in the U.S. market today. The error itself is a minting anomaly that transformed an ordinary quarter into an extraordinary financial asset. Collectors, dealers, and investors have been locked in bidding wars, driving the value higher and higher as supply tightens and demand intensifies. It's almost poetic, America's natural beauty, frozen in metal, now becoming a symbol of financial opportunity. Before you think this is just another collector's fad, let me interrupt with a humorous warning. Once you finish this video, you might end up tearing apart your house like a reality show treasure hunter. Don't blame me if you knock over a lamp or accuse your kids of misplacing your retirement fund. But jokes aside, the urgency is real. Coins like these don't stay underpriced for long, because rarity only becomes more powerful with time. And right now, the market is hotter than ever. This isn't a trend. It's a gold rush in the world of numismatics. Now, here's where the story tightens its grip. We're moving deeper into Act 2, where emotions start to rise. Imagine holding a coin that others would pay nearly $1 million for. Imagine the surge of excitement, the thrill of possibility, the shock of discovering that wealth can appear in the smallest, most unexpected places. For people between 30 and 65, especially those who have collected coins for years or inherited them from loved ones, this moment isn't just interesting, it's personal. Your past might be holding your future. The sacrifices you made, the years you worked, the dreams you still carry. All of them could be transformed by a single rare find. And just when you think we've reached the peak, there's something even more compelling coming, so stay with me. Because Act 3 is where everything comes together. The 2020 Salt River Bay Quarter with the rare error has reached a market value of $982,000. The number keeps attracting investors like a magnet, pushing attention and prices higher. We're talking about a level of demand that turns an ordinary person with an extraordinary coin into someone who can rewrite their financial destiny. This is more than a collectible. It's an opportunity, one that's proving itself right now in the real world with real buyers and real money. But here's the cliffhanger. What if this coin surges past the $1 million mark soon? What if today's $982,000 becomes tomorrow's $1.4 million? It wouldn't be the first time a rare US coin broke price records overnight. And those who hesitate often become the ones who say, "If only I had checked sooner." Fear isn't the enemy here, missing out is. Excitement isn't just a feeling. It's your intuition nudging you to take action. And urgency isn't pressure. It's possibility knocking on your door. So as we bring this story home, imagine this final scene. You're sorting through your coins with fresh eyes, a spark in your chest, and the knowledge that you now understand what so many people overlook. Somewhere in America this very moment, someone is discovering that their simple pocket change is actually worth nearly $1 million. That someone could be you. That someone could be the person who finally steps into the wealthy lifestyle they've dreamed of. That someone could be the person who refuses to ignore the opportunities hidden around them. The story of the 2020 Salt River Bay Quarter isn't just about a rare error. It's about awakening to abundance. It's about transforming something small into something life-changing. And it's about realizing that wealth doesn't always come from where we expect. It sometimes comes from where we least expect it.